Have you ever been the youngest person in the room? Maybe everyone around you seemed older, more experienced, more certain of what to do. So, you waited. You waited for someone else to step forward first. But sometimes, life does not wait for you. Tonight, let us meet a boy who learned that lesson earlier than most. Throughout his life, the same question kept coming back. Are you ready? Again and again, he stepped forward. At 16, he entered professional football. At 17, he left England and moved to Germany. At 19, he became a captain. At 20, he joined Real Madrid. He was often the youngest person in the room. But when responsibility arrived, he never acted small. Stay with me until the end, and you will discover why he kept choosing growth over comfort. This is the story of Jude Bellingham. Jude Victor William Bellingham was born on June 29, 2003, in Stourbridge, England. He grew up in the nearby village of Hagley with his parents Mark and Denise and his younger brother Job. Football had always been part of the Bellingham family. His father, Mark Bellingham, lived two very different lives. During the day, he worked as a police officer. In the evenings and on weekends, he played football in England's non-league system, far away from the fame and money of the Premier League. There were no giant stadiums, no television cameras, just muddy pitches, small crowds, and a man who simply loved playing football. Over his career, Mark scored more than 700 goals. Most football fans never knew his name, but Jude did. He watched his father finish long shifts at work, then go out and play because he loved the game. Without realizing it, Jude was learning his first lesson. Success is built long before anyone is watching. His mother, Denise, gave the family another kind of strength. She kept life steady while Jude and Job chased their dreams. Together, Mark and Denise built the foundation that allowed Jude's talent to grow. Near their home was a small patch of grass. Jude and Job spent countless hours there, pretending every game was the Champions League final. Years later, Jude smiled as he remembered those days. He said they must have played about 1,000 Champions League finals on that little piece of grass. 1,000 finals on a small piece of grass in a small village, with nobody watching. Every one of them mattered. At Hagley Primary School, every child was asked to finish one sentence. When I grow up, I want to be, Jude wrote, professional footballer for England. He was only 10 years old. The dream was already clear. He just did not know how many small decisions it would take to get there. At the age of 8, Jude joined the academy of Birmingham City. Birmingham was not one of England's biggest clubs. It played in the second division, but it was close to home, and it would change his life. One day, the coaches showed Jude 3 shirt numbers. Number 4 was for a defender, a player who stayed back and stopped the enemy. Number 8 was for a box-to-box midfielder, a player who ran everywhere. Number 10 was for a creative player, someone who scored goals and created them for others. The coach explained quietly, "You do not have to choose one. You can be all 3. Jude thought for a moment. He added the numbers in his head. 4 plus 8 plus 10. That equaled 22. Jude asked for number 22. He was only a child, but this was his first quiet promise to himself. He would not be one type of player. He would be all of them. By the time Jude was 15, he was already playing for Birmingham's under-18 team. He also attended Priory School, where the uniform was a dark red color, known as burgundy. After school, he went straight to the training ground. Sometimes he did not even have time to change. Picture the scene. A 15-year-old boy walked onto a professional football pitch, still wearing his school uniform. The men were training for real matches, and a boy in a burgundy blazer walked over. One of Birmingham's strikers, Lukas Jutkevich, remembered that day. He said, "We were doing finishing drills, and this kid was joining in with the first team." The boy was 15. He was not afraid. He joined the drill. He scored. He passed. He worked hard. Then he went home and did his homework. He was still a boy, but he had already decided he would stand where men stood. 1 year later, Jude is 16 years old. On a Tuesday evening in August 2019, he is about to walk into history. Birmingham City are playing Portsmouth in a League Cup match. Many of the first-team players are resting. The manager makes 9 changes. One of them is a boy of 16 years and 38 days. His name is Jude Bellingham. When he walks onto the pitch, he breaks a record that has stood for 49 years. He becomes the youngest first-team player in Birmingham City's history. A few weeks later, Bellingham plays at home for the first time against Stoke City at St. Andrews, the stadium he has known since he was 7. Early in the match, a Birmingham player is injured. The manager turns to the bench. He calls Jude. Birmingham are losing 0-1. The match is tense. In the 73rd minute, Lukas Jutkiewicz equalizes for Birmingham, 1-1. 3 minutes later, the ball drops to Bellingham inside the box. He shoots. The ball takes a deflection off a defender and rolls into the net. At 16 years and 63 days, he becomes Birmingham City's youngest ever goalscorer. He runs to the corner. He does not know how to celebrate. He has never scored in a real stadium before. So, he does the simplest thing his body knows. He spreads his arms wide, opens his chest, turns his face to the crowd, and shouts, arms wide, chest open, face turned to the fans. That celebration is born in this moment, right here in front of the Birmingham fans who have watched him since he was a child. It will follow him everywhere, to Germany, to Spain, to Wembley, to the World Cup. He does not know that yet. He is 16, and he is only just beginning. In the summer of 2020, at 17, Bellingham is already attracting the biggest clubs in Europe. The biggest offer comes from Manchester United, one of the most famous clubs in the world, in England, close to home, English-speaking, comfortable. Manchester United invite Bellingham for a special tour. They show him the training ground. They introduce him to the stars. They open every door. The easy road is right there. Stay in England. Be a Premier League star. Everything will be simple. But there is another road. The other road leads to Germany, to a club called Borussia Dortmund, 1,000 kilometers from home. The language is different. The winters are cold. The food is strange. But Dortmund have one thing Manchester United do not. They really play young players. Not for 5 minutes, not from the bench, from the start, in real matches, in the Champions League. At home, Jude talks with his father. Mark has been watching Dortmund closely. He has been watching another young English player there, a boy called Jadon Sancho, who left England for Germany. Mark speaks quietly to his son. He does not push. He does not shout. He just says one true thing. Your son does not need the biggest club. He needs the biggest challenge. Bellingham chooses Dortmund. The transfer fee is £25 million. He becomes the most expensive 17-year-old in the history of football. Back at Birmingham, something rare happens. The club announces they will retire the number 22 shirt. A 17-year-old boy, 44 matches, and the club takes his number out of circulation forever. The little boy who chose 22 because it was 4 plus 8 plus 10 is now leaving. The number stays. The promise stays. There were 2 roads. Comfort was closer. Growth was further away. Jude chose growth. Welcome to Signal Iduna Park, the home stadium of Borussia Dortmund. Behind one of the goals stands a huge crowd of fans in yellow shirts. They call themselves the Yellow Wall. When they sing together, the whole stadium shakes. April 14th, 2021. Champions League quarter-final, second leg. Dortmund at home. Manchester City are the visitors. The first leg was in England. Dortmund lost 1-2. To reach the semi-finals, Dortmund must score. and Manchester City are one of the strongest teams in the world. Minute 15. Erling Haaland runs down the left. Haaland is the young striker who is Jude's teammate. He pulls the ball back to Mahmoud Dahoud. Dahoud shoots. The ball is blocked, and it bounces to Bellingham. Bellingham is on the edge of the box. He does not panic. He controls the ball, shifts it to his right foot, and curls a shot to the top corner. Ederson, the Manchester City goalkeeper, is one of the best in the world. He jumps, he touches the ball, but he cannot stop it. Goal. At 17 years and 289 days old, Bellingham becomes the youngest English player ever to score in the Champions League. Manchester City fight back and win the match 2-1. Dortmund are out. But the world has just discovered something. After the match, the journalists find Pep Guardiola. Guardiola is the Manchester City manager, one of the smartest coaches in football. He shakes his head. He almost laughs. He says, "I cannot believe it. He is so good for 17 years old." There was one moment when he did not get the ball from the central defenders, and how he shouts and demands that ball at 17, it means a lot. At 17, Bellingham is already telling older men to give him the ball. He is not shouting because he is arrogant. He is shouting because he wants to help. 2 years later, at 19 years old, Bellingham wears the captain's armband for Dortmund. He becomes the youngest captain in the history of the Bundesliga. I still find this hard to picture. A boy from Stourbridge, 19 years old, wearing the armband on the biggest stages in Europe. He was still young, but he did not wait to be carried by others. He led. In a moment, a new challenge will arrive. A shirt once worn by Zinedine Zidane, a shoulder that refuses to heal, and one night at Wembley that will break his heart. Stay close, my friend. His biggest test is still to come. Summer 2023. Bellingham is 19. His time at Dortmund is coming to an end. Once again, all the biggest clubs in Europe are calling. Once again, he has two roads. One road leads home, back to England. Manchester City want him. Liverpool want him. He can play in the Premier League, speak his own language, be close to his mother again. The other road leads to Madrid. Real Madrid, the biggest club in football history, a club that has won the Champions League more times than any other. Cristiano Ronaldo used to play there. Zinedine Zidane used to play there. A club where legends are expected, not hoped for. Now they want a boy from Stourbridge. Real Madrid is not comfort. Real Madrid is pressure. But there is another challenge. Karim Benzema, one of the greatest strikers in the club's history, has just left, and someone has to score the goals. Bellingham has already learned a second language once. First English, then German. Now he must learn a third, Spanish. Bellingham chooses Real Madrid. When he arrives, the club gives him a special shirt, number 5. It is not just another number. It belonged to Zinedine Zidane, the player Bellingham has watched since he was a child. The challenge was bigger. Once again, Bellingham walked the harder road. The white shirt is heavy. The Santiago Bernabeu is watching. Bellingham is only 20 years old. October 2023. For the first time, Bellingham walks out for an El Clásico, not at home, but at Barcelona's stadium, the Estadi Olímpic Lluís Companys. Barcelona score first. 1 hour passes. Real Madrid cannot break them. The score is still 1-0. Then, in the 68th minute, the ball rolls to Bellingham, 30 meters from goal. He does not pass. He does not think. He shoots. The ball rises. It curves. It bends toward the far corner. The goalkeeper reaches, but he cannot stop it. 1-1. The clock ticks into stoppage time. The ball drops in the box. Bellingham is there. Of course he is there. 2-1. Real Madrid win. His first El Clásico. 2 goals from Bellingham. Real Madrid win inside Barcelona's stadium, and the home crowd falls silent. But But this was only the first meeting. 6 months later, the two teams meet again, and this time, everything is on the line. April 2024, Real Madrid against Barcelona. This time, at the Bernabeu. Real Madrid lead the title race. Barcelona are chasing a win tonight, and the race is almost over. Barcelona strike first. Real Madrid answer with a penalty. 1-1 at halftime. The second half begins. Barcelona strike again, but Real Madrid refuse to lose. Minutes later, they answer once more. 2-2, and the clock keeps ticking. If it ends here, Barcelona still have hope. Then in the 91st minute, a low ball skids across the 6-yard box. Bellingham throws himself at it. He stretches out his left foot. He is always there at the right moment in the right place. One touch. The ball rolls past the goalkeeper into the far corner of the net. 3-2. The Bernabeu explodes. 80,000 people leap to their feet. One kick from the boy from Stourbridge, and the title race is almost over. That season, Real Madrid have already won La Liga and the Spanish Super Cup, but one final trophy is still waiting. June 1st, 2024, Wembley Stadium, London. The Champions League final. More than 80,000 people fill the stands, and on the other side of the pitch stands Borussia Dortmund, Bellingham's old club, the team that gave him his first big stage. For more than an hour, neither team can break through. 0-0. The pressure builds. Then, in the 74th minute, Real Madrid finally score. 1-0. 9 minutes later, Bellingham steals the ball from a Dortmund pass just outside the penalty area. He looks up. He sees Vinicius Jr. running into space. He plays a beautiful pass. Vinicius takes one touch. He shoots. Goal. 2-0. Real Madrid have won their 15th Champions League, more than any club in football history. At the final whistle, Bellingham falls to the ground. Then he gets back to his feet. He walks slowly toward the stands. His mother is there. His father is there. His little brother Job is there. He hugs them and he starts to cry. Later, a reporter finds him. Bellingham speaks quietly. "I have always dreamed of playing in these games. You go through life, and there are so many people who say you cannot do things. Days like today just remind you why." While the world celebrated Real Madrid, something was hidden beneath Bellingham's white shirt, something he did not talk about. Back in November 2023, in a match against Rayo Vallecano, Bellingham fell badly. His left shoulder came out of its socket. The doctors gave him 2 paths. He could have surgery, which would mean months of rest and missing the Champions League and the European Championship that summer. Or he could wear a special brace, a tight support under his shirt. He could keep playing, but every match the injury would still be there, and every match there would be pain. Bellingham chose to play. For more than 100 matches, Bellingham played with that brace. Every match you saw him win, every celebration where he spread his arms wide, under the shirt there was pain. Summer 2024, the European Championship in Germany. England versus Slovakia in the round of 16. England are losing 0-1. The clock says 95 minutes. The referee is about to blow the final whistle. In seconds, England will go home. A long throw comes into the box. The ball flicks over Bellingham's head. Bellingham turns his body, jumps and kicks. A bicycle kick upside down in the air, 6 feet off the ground. The ball flies into the net. The stadium explodes. Bellingham runs to the corner, spreads his arms wide, and shouts 2 words. Who else? Harry Kane scores in extra time. England win 2-1. They go through. After the match, a journalist asks him a question. Who keeps writing your scripts? Bellingham smiles. I do. But every story has a limit. A few days later, England reached the European Championship final for the first time in their history on foreign soil. July 14, 2024, Berlin Olympiastadion, England against Spain. The last time England won a major trophy was 1966, 58 years of waiting. The first half ends 0-0. 2 minutes into the second half, Spain strike first, 1-0. The clock ticks. England chase. They cannot find a way through. Then, in the 73rd minute, Bellingham finds Cole Palmer just outside the box. Palmer strikes low and hard. 1-1. The dream is alive. But with 4 minutes left, Spain answer. A cross floats in from the left. A Spanish substitute, Mikel Oyarzabal, slides in at the far post. One touch. The ball is in the net, 1-2. The final whistle blows. England stands still, their heads down. 58 years of waiting will become 59. But Bellingham is only 21. The story is not finished. He was often the youngest, but every time responsibility arrived, he stepped forward, even in defeat. 2 years later, the world watches England again at the 2026 World Cup across 3 countries, the United States, Canada, and Mexico. England reach the quarter-final, and there in Miami, they meet Norway. July 11th, 2026, Miami. The quarter-final, England against Norway, a team nobody expected to be here. Norway are led by Erling Haaland, the tournament's top scorer. Just a few days earlier, they had done the impossible, knocking out 5-time world champions Brazil. If they could beat Brazil, many believed they could beat England too. The sun is burning. The temperature is over 30 degrees. Even before kickoff, sweat runs down the players' faces. In the 36th minute, Norway strike first. Andreas Schjelderup picks up the ball outside the box. He curls it. It bends toward the top corner. Goal. 1-0 to Norway. The English fans fall silent. The dream is slipping away. The clock ticks toward halftime. Then, in the 2nd minute of stoppage time, the ball drops at the edge of the box. Bellingham is there. A defender comes at him. Bellingham cuts inside. A second defender comes. He cuts again. He is running out of space. He is running out of time. He shoots low and hard across the goal. The keeper reaches, but he cannot stop it. 1-1 at halftime. The second half is long and heavy. Nobody can find the winner. The match goes to extra time. 3 minutes into extra time, substitute Morgan Rogers picks up the ball from long range. He drives forward. He shoots. The goalkeeper cannot hold it. The ball spills out into the 6-yard box. Bellingham is there. Of course he is there. Somehow he always is. He taps it into the empty net. 2-1. England go to the semi-final. England have only won the World Cup once, in 1966. 60 years of waiting, and now they are closer than they have been in a generation. The next match is Argentina, the defending world champions, Lionel Messi's Argentina, winners of the 2022 World Cup. 4 days later, Atlanta, the semi-final. For 55 minutes, neither team scores. The pressure builds. Then England strike first. Morgan Rogers whips in a low cross from the right. Anthony Gordon slides in at the near post. He flicks the ball into the corner. 1-0 to England. The English fans explode. For the first time in 60 years, they dare to believe the final is only 35 minutes away. But then Messi wakes up. 85th minute. Messi threads a ball through the England defense. Enzo Fernandez drives it low into the net. 1-1. 92nd minute. Messi again. He floats across into the box. Lautaro Martinez rises above the defenders. He heads it in. 1-2. The final whistle blows. Bellingham drops to his knees. The dream of Wembley 1966 will have to wait a little longer. 3 days later, England play France in the 3rd-place match. The match is chaos. 10 goals. England win 6-4. In stoppage time, the ball falls to Bellingham. He drives forward. He shoots. goal. His 7th of the tournament. No English player has ever scored more at a World Cup or European Championship. Not Gary Lineker, not Harry Kane, not anyone in 60 years of English football history. The boy from Stourbridge is now standing next to the greatest names his country has ever known. Bellingham did not win the World Cup, but he wrote his name into English football history. 7 goals in one tournament. No English player had ever done more until the boy from Stourbridge arrived. The reward was still waiting, but the work had never stopped. People look at Bellingham and see talent, the goals, the trophies, the confidence. Talent does not explain every choice he made. Leaving England at 17, choosing Real Madrid over comfort, playing through pain when his shoulder needed surgery. Talent opened the door. His decisions carried him through it. His father never told him which road to choose. Mark simply lived by example. His son watched, and his son learned. Beneath everything the world now sees, he is still the boy from Stourbridge, making one small choice after another. My friend, life often gives us the same choice, the comfortable road, or the road that helps us grow. You will not become great in one great decision. You will become great in 1,000 small right decisions. 1,000 small right decisions, like 1,000 Champions League finals on a small patch of grass in a small English village, with nobody watching, just you and the choice. The easy road or the harder road? Which one will you choose today? Thank you for spending this time with me today. Now, I'd love to hear from you. Which moment in Jude Bellingham's journey stayed with you the most? And one more question. Do you think Jude Bellingham will captain England to a World Cup one day? Leave your thoughts in the comments. I read everyone. Until then, breathe slowly and keep walking the harder road, one small right decision at a time. And when night falls, come back to timeless English stories.